It's time for the insane, the honest, and the profane with your host, Brandon Combs.
Jed Hoyer has been a coward as a GM. Doesn't go out and he doesn't make the big splash signings. He doesn't spend the money in the right places. But then I don't let Craig Counsell off the hook because, yes, did he get put in a bad spot with this rotation by Jed Hoyer? Absolutely. But then you didn't put those guys that you did have in a position to succeed in the playoffs.
And Ryan Fitzgibbons.
I mean, if he's just as good as Justin Fields, it's probably the worst draft pick in the history of Bears football. It probably is. And one of the worst draft picks in the history of the NFL.
It's Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk, right here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
And welcome to Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk. It's your boy, Brandon Combs, along with my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons. Fitzy.
We got a big day today, Combsy. It could be the most important pregame in the history of sports.
The most important pregame in the history of sports. Okay. Do you want to divulge? Do you want to?
It's a little foreshadowing.
Okay. Is it a tease, as we call it in the biz, right?
Yes.
Tease.
It's a tease. If it's gibberish tease.
A Fitzgibberish tease. Oh God. Oh God. I don't like the sounds of that. We are on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com right now. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, and we are live on Twitter. Make sure you guys click the like, click the share, click the subscribe, all of that good stuff. We got a lot coming to you. We're going to talk NFL Week 11. We're going to talk Bears. How are the Vikings going to score today? Got some interesting news with something going on with J.J. McCarthy heading into this game. We'll talk about that as we get into Week 11. But before we get into that, I got to get into the baseball awards, man. And we're starting to talk about this on the show, before the show, I should say. And he kind of gave me a look when I said this. Cade Horton got screwed. Cade Horton got screwed. I don't care what you say about Drake Baldwin. Did Drake Baldwin have a good rookie season? Absolutely. Catcher for the Atlanta Braves, 19 home runs, hit 270, had a fantastic season for the Atlanta Braves, who missed the playoffs, who were not very good. And yes, 19 home runs, 270, not too bad for a rookie. Also not too bad for a rookie to go 11-4 with a 2.64 ERA and become the number one in a rotation where you were expected to be the number 4 or number 5. But due to injuries, due to bad performances, due to everything else, you were the only thing that they could lean on late in the season until you got hurt. So much so that your absence from the postseason made people question whether or not that was a big part of the team's departure. They didn't get into the 5th inning, with the exception of the wild card game. Didn't get in the 5th inning with any starter in the postseason. And this guy does what he did all year long, and he's not the rookie of the year. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Go ahead. You gave me the look that I was crazy for thinking that. Make it make sense.
I didn't say you're crazy. It just seemed a little biased.
Okay, so make me wrong
biased.
then if it's biased.
I mean, I'm just going to tell you that analytics has taken over baseball, which
fuck your analytics.
All is all about numbers.
Oops.
And the best F WAR out of any rookie in the National League was
F your WAR and F your analytics.
Was with Drake Baldwin. Why they use Fangraphs WAR, I don't really know that. That kind of pissed me off. Why there isn't just like one WAR, because you go to Baseball Reference and somebody's win above replacement. We could back up a second. Win above replacement is how much better you are than a mediocre level replacement player would be from the minors, let's say. So if you have a bunch of players on your team that are 0 WAR or below, you are the 2024 White Sox. So you want to be above that. If you have a bunch of guys who are 2 WAR on your team, you're probably pretty darn good. Drake WAR was 3.1. And yeah, I mean, that's usually what they go for. Me, myself, if I had to say, you already know what I think is more important, which would be starting pitching. A good catcher is worth his weight in gold. I mean, but that is what they're probably going on is F WAR. And in that sense, Drake Baldwin did have the best F WAR for rookies, which is annoying, kind of annoying in baseball. I would rather have a very good starter myself. I think there was a certain time, especially in baseball, around 2016, by the way, where position players were more important in baseball for probably a 4 or 5 year period. That is not true anymore. That has been a problem with the Cubs organization that I have opined about on these fake airwaves. But that has been an issue with the Cubs is actually developing starting pitching. Now they actually develop a starting pitcher and he can't get the rookie of the year. I mean, I don't totally disagree with you. I gave you the look because it's a little biased.
Look, if I wasn't a Cubs fan, if I wasn't, a guy who didn't know about the game of baseball, I would still look at this and I would watch the season and I would come in and I would see what's going on and I would still think the same thing. It's crazy that a guy who played on a team that didn't win, that wasn't very good, and had a mid-season is better than a guy on a team that did win, who was a big reason why they did win, and had one of the better seasons of a pitcher all season long. How many pitchers this season had an 11-4 record and had a 2.49 ERA and were rookies? Not very many. And if you look at the guys who are winning Cy Youngs, you look at the guys who are winning pitching awards all off season, they all have numbers that are similar to that. Drake Baldwin winning the rookie of the year is like, it just doesn't make sense. It can't make sense. You can't make it you talk about F4 all you want and some of these analytics, but this is the reason why analytics sometimes are stupid. They're stupid because you can't watch what you watched all season long and truly believe that this award is what it should be.
I think in a lot of sports,
wake up, Combs. I can't wake up when I'm listening to a guy talk about F WAR and the reason why Cade Horton shouldn't be the freaking rookie of the year.
I think, and WAR does take into account importance of position, but I don't know if it takes into. That's where, for me, there's some wiggle room, some arguability there, like which position is more important. They design it, and it's all about numbers. Like a guy at shortstop is always going to have a better WAR, usually if he's even with a first baseman. When it comes to batting, he's going to have a better WAR every single year. So is a center fielder. A catcher's probably going to have a pretty good WAR too. Catchers are very important, but I don't know. To me, starting pitching weighs more in this league now. That's why I went back to 2012, maybe through 2018, 2019. But I think in this pitching now just means way more. I mean, sports change. And I don't think WAR takes that into account, how much baseball has changed just in the last 5 years, because it has changed incredibly. Pitching is so much more important now than it was 10 years ago. It just is. I mean, you can look at the stats. We've talked about the stats many, many times. Yeah, there was a time where they thought the ball was juice 10 years ago, where, you had those uppercut swings where swing playing was a big deal, where a lot of people were hitting home runs. Not to say that you didn't have Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs this year, but batting averages are down, strikeouts are ups, hits are down every year. Like pitching is taking over in this sport, and I think that's good argument for Cade Horton. So I'm not totally against you here. Drake Baldwin still had a pretty good year, so I mean, I think it's closer to a toss up than you'd say, but.
I mean, Drake Baldwin's WAR was a 3.3. I mean, if we're talking about a guy who's a 7, 8, or maybe even approaching double-digit WAR player, I would listen to this. But you're talking about Cade Horton, a pitcher who had a 2.0 WAR. And then you start looking at guys who won the Cy Young, and their WAR is sitting at about 4 or 5. Like the difference in what you're talking about with the pitching position and with Cade Horton, he's not far off from guys who are winning the Cy Young. Like his numbers are not that much different than guys who were winning the Cy Young this year. So I felt like that was the first one. Then you get into the MVP conversation. I had a problem with the MVP. Look, I know Shohei Ohtani was going to win the NL MVP. We all knew Shohei Ohtani was going to win the NL MVP. And as a matter of fact, he becomes just the second person in Major League history next to Joe Morgan as the only two players to win back-to-back MVPs and win back-to-back World Series in the same seasons. But the AL MVP race, which was very close, I had a huge problem with. Now, don't get me wrong. Aaron Judge, one of the best players in the game right now. Aaron Judge, great season. Unbelievable season. Cal Raleigh set records.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh did something that no switch hitter has ever done in the game. Cal Raleigh did things that no catcher has ever done in the game. And we've had some great, fantastic ball players who are catchers. And he doesn't win the MVP. This is a clear case, a clear scenario where if Cal Raleigh is playing for the New York Yankees and Aaron Judge is playing for the Seattle Mariners, Cal Raleigh wins the MVP. Because voters aren't watching games on the West Coast. Voters aren't watching games in Seattle. Voters aren't watching the Seattle Mariners play at 11 o'clock Eastern time. They're just not. And it proves it in this MVP voting. Look, I understand you. We could talk about the batting average. We can talk about the OPS, which was way higher than Cal Raleigh's. Cal Raleigh put up these numbers as a catcher. The first catcher to ever hit 60 home runs. The first switch hitter to ever hit 60 home runs. Yes, his average was a lot lower. And yes, his OPS was a lot lower. But he did this as a catcher. And he played this many games as a catcher. He was the heart and soul of that team. If you take Aaron Judge off of the Yankees, guess what? The Yankees are still playing in October. If you take Cal Raleigh off of the Seattle Mariners, the Seattle Mariners don't sniff October. And for me, it's not about the best player. The name of the award is most valuable player. And the most valuable player to his team this year in the American League was Cal Raleigh. Do you disagree?
Downing Thomas says can't win an MVP batting 250. Well, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. His slugging,
especially in today's game.
Everybody, pretty much everybody hits 250 these days. Downing Thomas, this isn't 1984, but so I disagree with that. Yeah, that was my biggest one. That's actually where I thought you were going to start. And by the way, just to back up a second here, I'm going to bring the White Sox into this. Kyle Teal of the White Sox had 60 games catching this year. Mm-hmm. He had a 1.9 WAR. So just to put it in perspective, Drake Baldwin's 3.1 when it comes to Fangraphs. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think Cal Raleigh should have won this. As soon as I heard that come out, that was the biggest news for me in the baseball awards. Was like, how in the hell does he not win that? And I agree with you with the way Seattle was set up, with the way their pitching is set up, with basically they don't have a salary cap in baseball, but Seattle's salary cap. They did spend decent amount of money this season, but they're not going to spend as much as the Yankees. He's way more important to that team than Aaron Judge is, and was way more important to that team. And it was what I think it was a better team than the Yankees.
Yeah.
Had a couple of really good series too. I totally agree with you here. There's no notes for me other than from
What?
is it at Queen Sugar?
No. Yeah, Queen SGRHO. We'll go there. What's going on, Queen? How are you doing? Thanks for joining us on YouTube.
We're good.
Yeah, we are good.
It's
Are
Sunday.
always good.
We're talking baseball in the middle of the NFL season.
Rhonda Freeman wants to know if we hunt. I am not a hunter. I've gone hunting a couple times, but I'm not an avid hunter.
You were trained to hunt human beings at one point.
As a Marine, yes, I was trained to hunt human beings. But no, not an avid hunter. Not a guy that goes hunting.
Have you ever killed anybody?
So, are you ready for gibberish?
Think about that. Answer the question.
Let's go.
No.
To Fitz gibberish.
No. What is happening here?
Let's go to Fitz gibberish.
Very awesome transition to Fitz gibberish. Yeah, it's a diatribe, it's a conspiracy theory, and it's an island in the middle of unapologetic and sometimes inaccurate sports talk. I think we did okay, except for not being able to admit we murdered somebody. But I digress. One of the more vile and unfortunately base characteristics of being a person in this simulated world is being a hypocrite. Try and fight as we might. If you listen closely, when it's really quiet, there's a large sucking sound pulling us all towards our own private hell of our own hypocrisy. So, fair pod people in Podland, welcome to my own private Fitzgibberish hell. I'll, of course, try to explain. Try as I might not work, but many a time I have opined on these fake airwaves that sports, although fun and filled with many of life's mysteries, are in the end not as grandiose or consequential as we make them out to be. I have sat here, or wherever I sat, and argued that Americans spend way too much time worrying about sports and not enough about their waistlines. That being said, I am now going to let my own hypocrisy devour my own logic, like alcohol devoured my liver for 25 years. By comparing today's Bears-Vikings game to the last 2,000 years of modern civilization. Yes, around 50 or so BC, before Christ, Julius Caesar stood on the banks of a river that on any map of Europe you'd barely be able to see. That river was only 50 miles long and didn't even stretch across the small Italian peninsula. I can't believe I'm doing this. But anyway, in any case, he sat and pondered his next move, because in the previous 400 years of the Roman Democratic Republic's history, no Roman general had ever crossed its armies into the Roman capital over the Rubicon River. It was seen as high treason, but crossed it he did, and after doing so, there wouldn't be another representative democracy in the civilized world for 1,800 years, until the US of A was a turning point in human civilization, the likes of which affected billions of lives throughout history and still does to this day. Looking back, you wonder if Caesar stood on the banks of that river and he saw the long road of 2,000 years in front of us all. Today, Ben Johnson stands in a similar situation, staring down the barrel of his first revenge game. Oh, it wasn't long ago on Monday night that the Bears gave up a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. Way too familiar for Bears fans. to lose to the JJ McCarthy led Vikings. With a win today, the Bears would be 7-3. 7-3. And it's hard not to see them in the playoffs after that. Even the percentages show that they are over 60% to make the playoffs if they win today, and around 30% if they lose to make the playoffs. How will Ben, Caleb, and the rest of the Bears respond to that devastating loss in week 1? How will the snake Ryan Poles try to take credit for the Bears' newfound success? Will this football game be just as important as Caesar crossing the Rubicon? No, it won't. To the last question. Of course not. That is preposterous. Simply asking that question is a disgusting, hypocritical, I don't know, whatever. But we might look back on today and say this was the day that the Bears started their run to their first playoff berth in 7 years. And maybe, just maybe, the road to sustained success for the first time in 40 years. My question today to you Bears fans and to Combs: does Ben Johnson see that road ahead? And that's Fitzgibberish. Combsy.
I hope he's that road ahead.
Is this the turning point in the Ben Johnson era? Is this the game we will look back on and say, this is the turn? I mean, it seems like things are starting to collect together for the Bears. I mean, Jonah Jackson looks like a real guard. Darnell Wright, I mean, we didn't know what the hell was happening to him in game 1. Had a huge holding call, which you could say maybe wasn't his. You didn't know. Joe Tooney didn't even look that good. Now the offensive line seems to be coming together. Jalen Johnson might come back. He was questionable for this game. Like, everything seems to be coalescing. They just have to win this game, I think.
Yeah. Look, I think things are starting to look good for the Bears and what they're doing, right? Like, I like what I see coming from this football team. I like the way that they look, especially offensively. Defensively, there's probably some things that, as they get healthier and as you get guys like Jalen Johnson back, they are going to start looking a lot better. But I also think that, you have to take into account the opponents as well, and you have to beat the opponents that you're supposed to beat. And one of those opponents today is the Vikings. You should beat a pretty pedestrian Vikings team, especially one, as Brad Biggs pointed out earlier, about an hour ago, he tweeted out, JJ McCarthy has some type of wrap on his right throwing hand for warmups. The hand was bruised in last week's game. He's completing 53.7% of his passes, and a hand injury can only complicate those issues. I mean, that's not good for the Minnesota Vikings. And the Bears have some trouble defensively with mobile quarterbacks, and we've seen that. Now, we saw how it was even in the Baltimore game, and when you weren't going up against Lamar Jackson, when you're going up against Snoop Huntley. Now you're going up against JJ McCarthy. And now you know that he has a hand issue on his throwing hand. So your focus all week probably should have been to eliminate that run game from JJ McCarthy. And the Bears have to go into this game with that mentality of, hey, this is a game that we have to win. We have to win the games versus the Vikings, versus the Steelers, and versus the Browns. And then find a way to beat the really good teams that we're about to play. Find at least a way to win one of those games. Just one if we win the 3 we're supposed to. And we're a 10-7 football team. Win more than that, and it's icing on the Sunday, right? So I look at Ben Johnson. I look at the job that he's done. I look at what is going on. And as much as I don't want to, because I'm a Bears fan and I know how this it always ends for them, this is a different franchise now. This is a different coaching staff now. Now, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that they've turned everything around. I'm not going to sit there and tell you I completely believe in Ryan Poles and completely believe in the system just yet. But I believe in Ben Johnson, and I believe in the way that he gets these players to play. And even settling down a guy like CJ Gardner-Johnson, who nobody seemingly wanted in their clubhouse, to last week getting a game ball. I think that Ben Johnson's the real deal. It's time to admit it.
Yeah, it's very rare for an offensive line to come together like this, and within a year, like within a year. I mean, it was just a few games ago we were saying Bears better win today. Oh, gee, Breezy, that's JJ. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. He will join us for a little bit on Black Friday if you can do the show. Someone called this shit from the beginning of the year. Can't
The Ryan Day moniker
he hasn't even
is amazing because it looks just like you.
It does not look like me at
It
all.
looks just like you.
I don't look like a troll that lives under a bridge. My
I
ears
mean,
are not
that's
that
debatable.
big. My ears are not that big. I mean, no, I'm not giving you that.
Okay.
But anyway, to have a turnaround like this with this team, I did not see it. I really did not see it coming. I mean, I thought they would lose to the Bengals, which they almost did. But they had trouble with a quarterback who wasn't mobile as well. You said they have trouble with quarterbacks that are mobile. They also have trouble with quarterbacks that aren't mobile. JJ McCarthy throws a lot of picks. And this team is the best turnover defense in the league still, I think, the Bears.
Yeah.
If they can cause a few, if they can get, I'll say it again, and they didn't do it last week, but if they can get a lead going, and I said, I hope they take the ball first, and they did take the ball first against the Giants. They just didn't do a whole hell of a lot. If they can get a lead here and put some pressure on JJ McCarthy, I have a Vikings friend from work who says he's him. Like, I just don't see it with JJ McCarthy. I've never seen it with JJ McCarthy. Maybe it'll happen at some point. But for right now, they have got to win this game. This is a big game, especially with the game I just talked about, Philadelphia on Black Friday in Philadelphia. It's going to be very hard to win that game. You get some cushion here with 7-3. Especially with this team, who's very inconsistent. I mean, who's thrown out clunkers in the Ravens game, threw out a clunker in the Detroit game. I mean, played pretty well against this Vikings team for 3.5 quarters. So
yeah. No, I look at this Bears team. I look at what they can, especially today, especially against the Vikings. And this is a different. I mean, this team should have beat them in week 1. But this is a different team than they were in week 1. The Bears are a much better team than they were in week 1 or week 2. So I'm confident going into today. And it's a scary spot to be as a Bears fan, being confident, because we know what happens when we get confident. But I just, I think that our mindset as Bears fans has to start changing. I think our mindset as NFL fans has to start changing, and we'll talk about that as we go through our picks in a little bit later, because you might be a little shocked at some of my picks and some of the things that I say about some of these games. But I just think that we fall into a trap of, as fans of, hey, this narrative is just the narrative and it's just going to play out this way, because sometimes narratives change, franchises change, and things happen. And, and so
have you heard of JJ McCarthy's alter ego?
Yeah, he calls them 9 or
Can
something.
I share this for a second?
Let's do it.
Do we have sound?
Can we hear it?
In your career in sports? To be honest with you, it really kind of started to show up this year.
And it came about last year during IR, just never had a full season where, you want to be out there so freaking bad, but you can. It was just this built up anger that was kind of ready to just explode. And I chose to harness it instead of letting it go into, a self-destructive kind of way. And it's unique. And I kind of love feeding that wolf because my entire life, at Michigan, it was a smiley face on my hand and smile and you have fun, you're going to play better and all that, which is true. But I also think there's a lot of power that comes from, that built up anger that you can transmute into your performance.
Is there an on-off switch with that, or is it like a gradual come down that you have to go through after game days?
It's a gradual come down. My fiance, she definitely doesn't like when 9 comes home, but yeah.
I mean, look,
that wasn't as good as I thought it was. There was another clip where he's talking about 9 being on the bench and like he only puts him in at certain times.
Him talking about that alter ego is almost as bad of a decision as the NFL sending the Dolphins and Commanders to Spain to promote the NFL. Because I just watched, while we're watching that clip on the background, I have the game on. The Dolphins get stopped on 4th down inside of the red zone and give the ball back in a tie game nonetheless. Get stopped in the red zone. It would have been like a 25-yard field goal.
To take the lead.
They get stopped. Washington drives down the field. Marcus Mariota leads a winning drive down the field. They go to kick the field goal, and it gets shanked right. We're going to overtime in Madrid, tied at 13. Unbelievable. But getting back to JJ McCarthy and this alter ego, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't believe in this kid. I don't believe in him being a starting quarterback at this level. And honestly, I don't think that the Vikings believe it. I don't think Kevin O'Connell believes it. And I think that JJ McCarthy is going to have a short leash, and I don't think that they'll hesitate to pull that in today's game if he struggles in the first half, especially now knowing that he's got his throwing hand wrapped. I mean, let's chill out a little bit, Batman.
You're not gonna Jeremiah checks in. You're not a good enough QB to have an alter ego. Yeah. You don't have to be cute now. Like have a good season. Go to a Pro Bowl, then you could get cute. Like alter ego.
Says,
what?
It says his fiance doesn't like it when 9 comes home. I mean, what are you doing to her?
Yes.
Like I mean, seriously, like it just sounds weird, man. Like you don't sound cool. You don't sound like it makes me less scared of you as an NFL defensive player. Like, all right, let me see how hard I can hit you and see if I can make 9 come out, because 9 sounds like he's gonna make stupid decisions. Let's do that guy.
Like he has 6 interceptions this year.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of games.
So I'm there. This is a good week 11 schedule. There are a couple of dead games, but this is a good week 11 in the NFL. There is a lot of things that could happen. And there's a lot of playoff implications and a lot of divisions that are going to be affected by the games today. So you ready to get into our picks? Let's talk about these games a little bit.
You sure?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, it's a little early.
We all remember Rise, Alter Ego. Rick was a real a-hole. Who's Rick?
Do we have to talk about this right now?
I mean,
Rick. All right,
we kind of do.
Do you want to
Yeah, I think we kind of have to hear the story now. I mean, your sister brought it up. Blame her.
Should blame her for everything. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Dave Lauren unleashed the fury, Rick. Jerry is waiting for you.
This sounds like it could get really good. I mean, maybe you should unleash Rick gibberish.
Yeah, Rick Gibberish. There we go. I had painted a dorm at University of Chicago, like right out of college. Rick still owes me $2,000. Whatever, Doubting Thomas. Shut it.
I like that actually. That's a good way to put it.
I hate you all.
No, not you. She's talking about freaking. It's not everything's about you, Fitz. Not everything's about you. She's talking about JJ McCarthy. Tried to shed his golden retriever image to be more of a pit bull, but ended up looking like a pissed off chihuahua. It's a good way to put it.
It's true. It's true. Anyway, I had a University of Chicago shirt and I was at a party and I was trying to talk to a young lady. And of course, I was lying through my teeth. And I told her that I was pre-med at the University of Chicago and my name was Rick. And a couple of friends overheard me saying that, including my cousin Bill, whose picture is right over my left shoulder. And so that was my drunk alter ego for probably the next 20 years. And there's still people calling me Rick sometimes, and I don't even drink anymore. So
how did you get anybody to believe after talking to you for 2 minutes that you were actually pre-med?
I'm a great actor.
Okay.
I'm a great actor. I'm good at what I do. And I do not owe Doubting Thomas $2,000. He probably owes me $2,000. He owes me his life.
I mean, okay. Rick, huh? So this is what we're promoting.
Hey, why don't we shove a couple of screwballs down your throat and see what you say? I only have one.
I mean, never changed my name to try to impress a female. I just, I am who I am. I'm not Rick pre-med when I actually just sit in my basement and talk in front of a camera. All right, let's get back on track. Jeremiah, my wife loves when I bring 9 home. My wife hates when I get the wrong shit at the grocery store. Who cares, JJ? All right. Let's start with the new games here. Panthers at the Falcons. The Falcons are a 4-point favorite against the Carolina Panthers. Both teams trying to stay in it keep pace with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have a tough matchup against the Buffalo Bills today.
Yes, they do.
I like Carolina in this game. I'll take Carolina +4. I think Carolina wins this game. Atlanta might be the hardest team in the NFL to figure out. They are one of the more inconsistent teams week to week. They honestly could win this game by 40. They could lose this game by 40. So I'm going to take a team that I have a little bit more faith in, a little bit more trust in, and that's the Carolina Panthers. And I'll take them +4. Where are you at?
You and your love-hate relationship with the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to take the Falcons in this one. I don't think they'll win by 40, but I think they'll win this game comfortably. I think the Carolina Panthers have jumped the shark. So I got Atlanta in hot Atlanta.
All right, let's go to the aforementioned Buccaneers versus the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, a 6.5-point favorite versus Baker Mayfield, your Baker Mayfield, and your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I know.
Where are you going here?
These are two pretty good teams that are sitting at 6-3. It's kind of depressing that one of them is going to be 6-4. But I don't think maybe Buffalo wins this game, but I think Baker Mayfield's still the best fourth quarter. Well, maybe the second best fourth quarter quarterback in the league next to maybe Caleb Williams, but probably the best fourth quarter quarterback in the league. I think he keeps this tight. Even if Tampa Bay loses, I don't think they lose by a touchdown. What say you?
I'm with you. I'm with Tampa Bay in the plus 6.5. With the way the Buffalo's defense has played all year long, I think this is a big Rashad White game. I think they can run the ball efficiently against this Buffalo Bills defense that has not played very well all year. And then if you keep it close, or even if you're down by 2 scores, let's say the Bills have a 13-point lead, late in the game, I can see a backdoor cover by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of how bad this defense has played over the last 5-6 weeks for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to take the Bills plus 6.5. I'm with you there. Let's go out to Tennessee, out in Nashville. The Titans take on the Texans. The Texans, a 5.5-point road favorite. I'm going to take the Texans plus the 5.5, or minus the 5.5, I should say. The Titans are bad. Cam Ward's starting to look a little bit better. He's starting to throw for a lot more yards. The numbers are starting to get up there. He's starting to be a little bit more consistent. This Titans team is just bad, man. There is no talent on this team beyond Cam Ward whatsoever. So I just can't take the Titans. What about you?
They're slowly going for the top pick in the draft next year. I've thought since early in the season that the Titans are the worst team in the league by a little bit over, I guess, the Las Vegas Raiders now. So yeah, I got the Texans. It doesn't matter what the spread is. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I don't even care who's quarterbacking.
Let's go to New York. The Green Bay Packers, losers of 2 straight home games against some not so great teams, go up against another not so great team who just fired their head coach and the South Side legend, St. Rita graduate himself.
Yeah.
Mike Kafka takes the reins. I know I am. But Giants fans galore today. Like, is all of Chicago just hoping that this happens? Because I think if this happens, if the Giants find a way to beat Green Bay, if this happens, I think Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat.
Who is the starting quarterback for the Giants today?
It is going to be
your guy.
Eat them dubs, baby. Eat them dubs. Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
And boy, does he ball out in his first games every time.
Why in the hell they brought in Russell Wilson against the Bears? I'll never know. Oh my God, was that pathetic last Sunday. The Rick to my Morty. Thank you, Izzy. All right. At least someone likes my alter ego story. Jerk. I'll punch you in the throat next time I see you.
Does Izzy go to parties and tell people her name is Morty? Is that what happened there? Is that what we're finding out?
He sang Hamilton in his press conference.
Yeah.
Did Jameis Winston do that?
Yes.
Why was he praying with Russell Wilson on the sideline in the Bears game when he went in there?
Because Jameis. Because Jameis. I mean, there's no reason for anything that he does except when he comes out in his first game every single year, he balls out, and then he fades into the oblivion.
He's gonna have 4. Are you saying he's gonna have 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in this game?
I'm saying the Giants are live in this game. I'm saying the Packers better not waltz in there thinking they can just waltz in there and win this football game.
There is a dead cat bounce here too. A lot of players on the team. There's a lot of volatility with that Giants team. They do have some talent. They have the leading sack getter in the league right now. Banks, right? He leads the league with sacks, 11 sacks already or something like that. Couldn't sack Caleb though, but I think he can sack Jordan Love. It's just hard. Like, Green Bay really has to win this game. Going down 5-4-1.
Are you taking the Packers minus 7.5? You trust the Packers to cover that number? I don't even against the Giants.
Talk me out of it. Go Giants. Go Jameis Winston. Let's go.
Attaboy. Giants.
Like a reluctant 17-year-old on prom night. You drag me back in. You better wear a condom, though.
Oh God, I'm not touching that one. All right. Bengals, Steelers.
Miami game-winning field goal.
Yes, Miami wins the game in overtime. They hit the field goal. Instead of going for it on fourth down, they decide to kick the field goal on third down. All right. Steelers, Bengals. Steelers -5.5 at home over the Bengals, who opened up the Joe Burrow 21-day window this week. They expect to get him back by either the Thanksgiving game or the week after. Can the Bengals find a way to stay in this division race in which the Steelers are 2 games ahead? Yeah.
Trying to give away. The Bengals with that defense, though. And you know, Aaron Rodgers can really pick apart a bad defense. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been on the business end of that. With -5.5, like and the Steelers always, they don't have a great defense this year, but they're always respectable. I'm sorry. I think the Steelers at home, I think they win this by 2 touchdowns.
I'm gonna roll with the Bengals.
Of course.
It's a division game. It's a game that the Bengals absolutely feel like they need to win. I know they're terrible defensively. I do. I understand that. But they do have weapons, man. They still have Jamar Chase. They still have T. Higgins. They still have Chase Brown. They've got some weapons that can keep this game close. And Aaron Rodgers isn't the same Aaron Rodgers that we've known to come and love over the last few years, right? Like, he's not the same guy that's going to throw for 30 touchdowns and only 4 or less picks. He's going to be the guy that is probably pretty even with his interceptions to touchdown ratio at this point in his career. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think they find a way to keep this close if they don't find a way to win this game. Let's go to Jacksonville, who gave up a huge fourth quarter lead last week, probably because their quarterback is ass. Going up against the Los Angeles Chargers in Jacksonville. The Chargers are only a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
Where are you going here?
At 7-3, the Chargers are a 2.5-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
How do I take Jacksonville here after talking about how bad Trevor Lawrence is for the past 3 years? How do I take Jacksonville
Duval.
here? I'm all over the Chargers here. This is a game I would actually drive to bet on. I mean, I just think, the Chargers win this game going away.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Julianne does say,
we were doing it at the same time. Look at that. Great
we
minds.
were both thinking of you, Julianne. It's awful that Joe Burrow coming back is even a conversation. I think if Cincinnati does win a couple of games and he comes back, it makes the NFL a lot more interesting because when he's healthy, he's the best quarterback in the league.
It does, but I get Jules' point because I do have a concern that maybe they're rushing him back. And I'd hate to see something happen to Joe Burrow that costs him more time than just this season. So I get it from the Bengals perspective, but as just a fan of the game, I just hope they're not going to ruin the kid. That's all. But in this game, man, I'm with you. I like the Chargers huge as well. I think that Justin Herbert obliterates this Jacksonville defense. I don't think that Trevor Lawrence, you know what I think about the kid. And I'm not a fan. I have not been a fan since he got drafted. I wasn't a fan of his decision-making, even at Clemson when he was winning. Some of his decision-making under pressure was really, really bad. And I didn't think he was going to be a great NFL quarterback. And so far I've been right. And I don't think the Jaguars can hang with the Chargers. I think the Chargers win this one big.
And the Chargers have been getting better.
Yeah. Every week.
Every week they've gotten better.
Yep.
So.
Yep. All right. Maybe the game of the week. 3:05. I wish this was a 7:20 game. I'd like to just sit down and watch this one on its own. But Seahawks and Rams, 7-2 Seahawks visit the 7-2 Rams. Division battle for first place in the NFC West. Both teams really good on offense. Both teams really good on defense. Both teams with quarterbacks playing at an MVP level. This is going to be fun, man. This is going to be a really good game. 3:00 kickoff, 3:05 kickoff on Fox. Rams are a 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to take the Rams here. I'm going to give up the points. Matthew Stafford is just having one of those seasons that you can't look away from, and not enough people are talking about it. They're just not.
No.
This guy is having one of those seasons. Should we talk about Cal Raleigh again? He's having one of those types of seasons where you look at it and you're like, man, he's going to set records. He's going to do some things that other guys haven't done in a while. So I'm going to trust Stafford. I'm going to trust the Rams at home. What about you?
I was just watching his no-look pass against, I think it was San Francisco. I think that was that playoff game a couple of years ago when it was maybe the best playoff performance that year by a quarterback, and they lost. Yeah. I mean, I love watching the guy play. I really do. Matthew Stafford just so fun to watch play. And let me tell you this, Minnesota fans, if Sam Darnold is still on your team, Vikings probably win the game today against the Bears. Probably win the game today against the Bears and might win this division that has softened this NFC North, which is a tough division, but it seems to have softened this year, which we both said would possibly happen. But I'm still taking Stafford. I'm still all over the Rams in this game. Even though Sam Darnold, I think could keep it tight. Matthew Stafford's having a Peyton Manning in his late 30s type year when Peyton Manning went to the Broncos. That's what this looks like. When you still have the athletic ability, but you're just getting smarter and smarter every year. That's what seems to be happening with Stafford. He's been great this year.
Yeah, no, I like it. And as I have Fox up in the background because getting ready for the Bears game. Howie just picked the Seahawks in this game, so now I like my pick even more. All right. The other two NFC West teams, the 49ers visit the Arizona Cardinals. Dumpster fire in Arizona, and they're without Marvin Harrison Jr., who had to undergo an appendectomy this week. So the 49ers, who get back Brock Purdy, who get back their young wide receiver, his name is escaping me at this moment. Kid who got shot last year. What the hell's his name? But anyway, they get him back too. I don't think it matters though. I think Christian McCaffrey has a big day. And I think Brock Purdy has a big day. I think that the 49ers win this one going away. They're 3.5-point favorites at Arizona. I think they win this one by 10 or more.
Is it Ricky Pearsall?
Ricky Pearsall. There you go. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and Christian McCaffrey he's not hurt. I feel like I have to ask that question.
No, he's not hurt. He's healthy and he's having an unbelievable season.
I know. Yeah, he's having a great season. Yeah, I got San Fran. I don't know why they're only -3.5, even though they're going into Arizona. I don't really get that spread, especially at this time in the season. Maybe Vegas knows something I don't, but still I'm against them. I'm going with San Francisco. I think they win this game by 2 touchdowns or at least 10 points.
I like it. All right. Ravens and Browns. Ravens are a 7.5-point favorite in Cleveland against the Dylan Gabriel-led Browns. Do we see Shedeur Sanders today? Maybe.
He's like 5 inches taller than Dylan Gabriel.
I take the Ravens, though, -7.5. I think Lamar has a big day.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to leave the Ravens are going to leave anything to chance. They're playing really good ball. I don't know who put the fire. Like, what game was the turning point for the Ravens this season? I don't know which game was that. Yeah, it was the Bears game, but Lamar Jackson's been great since he came back off injury. He's been great even before injury. He was great. I don't think they leave anything to chance here. I think they win this game going away. I don't care about Cleveland's defense. God, did they look bad last year? We keep getting spammed by people.
I see that in the chat. All right, Chiefs and Broncos. Chiefs are a 4.5-point favorite. The 5-4 Chiefs are a 4.5-point favorite at the 8-2 Broncos. People not believing in the Broncos. Where are you at?
They don't believe in the quarterback. Bo Nix, they just do not believe in the quarterback. And I have to agree with people there. Bo Nix has not been great this season. In Kansas City, if the season ended today, Kansas City would not be in the playoffs. I don't know if everybody knew that. The Bears would be in the playoffs. Kansas City would be out of the playoffs right now if the season ended today. This spread is crazy. This has got to be in Denver too. This is a really tough game to call. I'm going to take the Broncos because I'm going to take a page out of Doubting Thomas's book, and I'm cheering for chaos. It would be great to see Kansas City miss the playoffs this year.
I think people are afraid to admit that Kansas City is having a down year. I think people are afraid to admit that the Kansas City Chiefs might not be that good. I'm not afraid to admit it. I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are that good. I think the Denver Broncos win this game outright. I don't even need the points. I think the Denver Broncos are better than what people think. I think that they're better than what they've actually played so far this season, and they're 8-2. I think that this team is ready to go. I think Kansas City's having a down year. I think RJ Harvey could have a big game tonight. I think the Broncos win this football game. I'm betting the Broncos money line tonight, coupled with the money line for the Sunday night game, which leads us there. Lions, Eagles. AJ Brown said, if you have them on your fantasy team, drop them. Lions, though, walk into Philadelphia as a 2.5-point dog. Can the Eagles offense actually keep up with the Lions? Where are you at on this one?
I'm with the Eagles on this one, and I'll just say it's a bias, a little bit of a bias, because I do want Detroit to win, and then you'll see where my Bears pick is. I mean, Detroit to lose, and then you'll see where my Bears pick is. I do think, though, why it's just a little bias, Eagles are playing better ball. I really think they take this game at home. I don't think Detroit is as good as Doubting Thomas thinks they are. Dan Campbell somehow did. There's a little bit of volatility there. Dan Campbell's calling offensive plays now. I take the Eagles. Long story.
I look at what the Eagles' offense has been all season long, and I don't know that they can keep up with the Lions offensively. I just don't. I think the Lions are really freaking good. I want the Eagles to win. I want the Eagles to beat the Lions because I always want NFC North teams to lose. And let's say this. The Eagles and Bears kind of have aligned tendencies because the Bears have beaten the Commanders, they've beaten the Giants, and they've beaten the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So far, the Eagles have beaten the Packers, and they've beaten the Vikings. Now we just need them to beat the Lions to hold up their end of the deal, and then we'll go head-to-head in a couple of weeks. I just don't think the Eagles' offense can keep up, man. I really don't. So I'm going to take the Lions. You're going to give me 2.5 points with a team that I think has the better offense? I'll take it. Monday Night Football, Cowboys, Raiders. The Raiders. Dallas, 3.5-point favorite in Las Vegas. Where you at?
Why am I watching this game? Why do I care?
Cowboys
win. Cowboys win, I guess.
Yeah.
Got the better quarterback. Okay.
If I wasn't in studio, I would not be watching this game either. I'd be playing video games or something with the kids. Like,
yeah,
this game's gonna be terrible.
Be better than this.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on the Cowboys too, just because. I mean, how does Vegas score? I know the Cowboys defense is bad, but I mean, what does Vegas have for weapons? They've got a quarterback that can't throw a forward pass anymore.
No.
So I'm done. All right. Let's go to our beloved Chicago Bears, baby. Bear down, Chicago Bears. 2.5-point dogs in Minnesota against a defense that tends to wreak havoc on Bears quarterbacks. Completely different football team over the last few weeks. Bears let one slip away in week 1 here at home. Where you at?
I think the difference between that team and this team, the largest difference, and I beat it, you could be an idiot and figure this out. Is the Bears can run the ball now. They're the second best running team in the league right now. If they had the running game they have now, then they could have just ran the ball, the clock out at that point. I'm all over the Bears in this game. I agree with you. I don't think JJ McCarthy is that good. Maybe he'll be good someday, but not today. I think the Bears take this game somewhat handedly, or at least I think they should. We'll see what happens. Brian Flores is a good defensive coordinator, but Ben Johnson is 4-1 against him. He's got something for him today, I think. We'll see, though.
I think so, too. I'm with you. I'm all over the Bears. Bear down, Chicago Bears. With that, we're going to let you guys go enjoy the games. We'll be back here for Bears post-game afterwards. Stay tuned. For those that aren't joining us, till next time, same bat time, same bat channel. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. See you next week.